Gomersall and Bow, as it was in 2016. We swap sides and we go green here in race number 2 of the Touring Car Masters down to turn number 1, and Gomersall will get the lead. He locks the brake for a split second, but will hold the lead through turn 1. We got some side-by-side action happening. He's going around there on the exit of his contact with Abel Nika, and now King's involved. Big damage here on the straight.
That's an enormous crash. There must be a dozen cars involved. Sven Boykart's in the Porsche. Oh, look at that. It's a wrecking yard. And an expensive one at that. Huge damage to the front of the A9X. A couple of Porsches burning stack in the middle of that. Melinda Price is parked. Andrew Fisher, who started at the back of the field.
Oh, man.
Huge damage to Abel Nika, who started third. Mark King copped an enormous hit in the Chevy Camaro as well.
Race has been red flagged. There's King. Got Stack in the middle of this. Melinda Price. And we thought that lock-up from Gomersall's car. That's just cold tyres going through. He looped it on his own. As he corrected, it's come back in front of the entire field. And even John Bow caught in this. This is exactly like we saw in race number 3 at Adelaide earlier this year.
It's Tony Karamfilowski with big damage. This car was due a freshen up. It's going to happen quicker than before. Sven Boykart has got a very, very big hit in the left rear corner of the number 90 Porsche. So race suspended. Seen this a few times this year in various categories, haven't we? Fortunately, Jason getting out. But you're right, Matt. He went through turn 1 nicely. Turn 2 had a big slide on the exit, couldn't correct it, and the car just spun in front of the pack. Bow's got big damage. So leading contenders out. Ryan Hansford scored first, but that's probably not the story we need to focus on at the moment.
Gomersall out of the car. The Matt Stone prepared Tirana. Creases on his car, same to John Bow. And there's Sven Boykart's number 90 Porsche against the old pit wall. That's Tony Kay walking along.
One of the shortest guys in the paddock against one of the tallest. So here's the start. So keep an eye on Gomersall in the Peter Brock lookalike Tirana on the left of screen, running down into turn 1. So he just grabbed a brake, went in a little bit hot. Now he turns in for turn 2. Watch the car slide. So it slides, takes nowhere to go, and it was the old NASCAR-style chain reaction behind as everyone stacked up. Oh, wow. That 38 Porsche absolutely drilled
Probably the
Falcon in front.
The luckiest one out of that was probably Rowan Little.
Yeah.
Pulling to the left-hand side. Here's the view from Ryan Hansford, who went green. Got a nice start. In fact, we've got a better start than Bow ahead, but nowhere to go for the multi-spares Tirana. Now watch the first Tirana ahead in shot. He's locked the brake. And watch him correct the car through here. This will be a piece of television history right here for Hansford. Oh, man.
Oh, he was lucky. He was really lucky to avoid that. Heads-up driving from Ryan. Well, that shows the initial point of the spin. And it's probably a question of who got through as much as who didn't. There's going to be a lot of walking wounded at the back of that. And just as the field spun, it just all stacked up. Check the green Porsche there. Just going side by side, because he was all good to this point, but everyone stacks up. He tries to get the hole through the middle and finds himself with nowhere to go. And then crunch. A big hit, I think, into Blue Cannon's Ford.
Oh, straight into Abel Nika goes Gomersall. Bow got hit twice at the end. King, the big loser out of this.
Gomersall's car is going to be very, very messy. The initial hit with Bow wasn't great, but that secondary contact, Matt, with Mark King was enormous. Huge impact.
So there he goes, cold tyres, just spinning himself around. He tried to correct it.
He was so close to catching that, but it had the tank slapper, as you said, and by then he was a passenger, and the rest of the field had absolutely nowhere to go. And that was a big impact. So the initial impact was with Eddie Abel Nika, who's copped huge damage on the right front. But watch this hit. That's massive.
Yikes.
That is absolutely huge.
If the first one didn't wreck it, the second one finished it off completely. And there was Bow trying to just get away from the scene of the crime.
And I don't think there's anything you can do about this. It's not like it's a driver standards issue. It's not a quality of driving problem. It was a mistake, a slide that stacked the field up, and they ran into turn 2 and the old start-finish line here at Winton, and a whole bunch of cars had nowhere to go.
Look at Melinda Price pulling the car up on her return to national level motor racing. I don't think there's a mark on that car.
I think she was very, very lucky.
Let's get down to pit lane with Cam.
Yeah, guys, a lot